There's a serious. All right. So looking at a Nike trade for earnings coming up on the 19th, which I believe is Thursday. Very interesting setup for Nike because basically been trading in this range from back in June, and we really haven't broken down or broken out, and we've been fairly stuck in the middle. It's close to the middle, and it's amazing. It's literally in the range of the expected move. So if we actually go over here and we look at this area, this brings us up to about a highs of about 90 change, right? 90, 94. And then the bottom of the range is about 70, 65 or so. And then you go over into the options for January, because I'm not going to do December, because December's at that point will be expiring on that day. I mean, you really can't do a 0 day, right? Because that truly will be, Thursday will be truly a 0 day. Well, actually, they'll expire the next day. I mean, you could. You're not going to really get anything. If I even did, like, let's say, if we did something like a 70-90, which would be about what you would do in that trading range, you're not going to get a hell of a lot. Let's clear this out first. A 70-90. It's going to give you $1, and you're going to use $800 worth of buying power. That kind of sucks. So I'm not going to do December. I'm going to go into January because it gives me a little more time. But in here, I actually would be okay with doing a 70-90 here and do that for almost $2. And if I could do this for $2, if it does kind of inflate a little bit on the volatility end, that's really that's a pretty nice trade, actually, in my opinion. And you have some tight strikes here in the option change. You have the 67.5 and the 92.5. And you could do a nice little iron condor here too that only run you $182, brings in 60. If we could do that for 70 cents, that's not a bad trade, and you're almost at 70% pop on that. And then you got a decent, that theta's not too good, but you're going to get a little bit of a volatility crush because the IV rank is pretty high on this. And you can even do that. That's actually a nice small little trade, again, if you want to stay small. And then if you just do the standard iron condor, if you could do this for $1.20, that's not a bad trade either. So this is how it looks. To me, that's it's probably as good as it's going to get for a earnings trade anyway, at least these days. And you can do it in something like Nike, and you just got to hope that they don't blow out. And hey, if they do, they do. What are you going to do? Is what it is. So, again, you always start off with the strangle, and then it really becomes a matter and a function of buying power at that point. Do you want to use that much? And if not, then you're going to have to go in and cover it. If you want to stay really small, I actually even like that. if you can do it for 70 cents. That's staying really small. So, and you're only using $1.80. And then the other option would be to just widen it out and do a standard 5 wide on each side. And still, I'd want to do that for about $1.20. I don't know if you'd be able to get it. Mid price is $1.17 on those. You'll definitely get it for like $1.10. And that's what I'd be looking at for Nike. Now, there's a bunch of others up here on deck as well. Micron, I think, is coming up. Is that also, that's on the 18th, so that's on Wednesday. I got an iron condor on here. Here's my positions. Where's my positions? Here's my positions. I'm getting beat up in TLT pretty bad. I'm getting beat up pretty bad across the board. But these are actually, full disclosure, this IWM, the diamonds, and the all these index options that I have on here, these were all hedges against my major account. So that's why they're actually losses. These are all put spreads. I always put those on because it's kind of like insurance. But I already have an MU. Let me see here. I already have an MU Iron Condor already in February, so we'll take a look at that one. And what I did here was I basically just kind of took the expected move, right here. It's kind of topping. I was figuring it's going to top out at about 130. So I did like a 130, 135 on this end. So it's outside of the one standard deviation on this, on Micron. And I did a 90, 85. And that's what I had done in February. Longer term, but I think on this I'm actually going to do an add-on. I might actually do this one for earnings, which is the 90.85, the 130, 135. They're expecting a $15 move up into January. For the earnings, though, it's a $13 move, and then you have good IV rank there, and you can do this one for $1.25 and use 375 of buying power, 67. This is what this one looks like. 67% probability of profit. Let's just fix this. There you go. 67% probability of profit. Decent data. It's not great. I wish it was a little better. You'll get some volatility, and hopefully it doesn't blow out one way or the other. And so those are two that I was looking at. Just thought I'd share them. I haven't been online in a long freaking time. So, yeah. So there you have it. Had some other things going on. But we'll see. And so that's kind of what I'm doing for earnings coming up. As far as some of the other stuff, I actually took a short position in UAL. This thing just looks so overdone. I mean, at this point, and again, just everything in the market's overdone. I mean, this isn't the only thing. But, I seen this, and I looked at this chart, and I said to myself, look, IV rank 87.90, volatility really high, no real sign of it weakening. And I figured, and if you go and look at the option chain, there's huge call skew in here. And you know that by just looking at the, let's say, last price is 95. So just look at the 95 strike. You're looking at almost a $2 difference between the puts and the calls. So huge call skew here. And I decided, I actually did something pretty close. I was looking at open interest here on the hundreds at 11K. So I was like, it was much lower than that when I did this. I did this yesterday, well, not yesterday, Friday or Thursday. Here it is right here. And I did the 100, 105 out in February. And you can do that actually a little better than what I got. And do that for $1.75, 64% probability of profit. And buying power only $300. Now you could do the naked. You could, if you have the buying power in your account, you could simply just sell the 100 naked call. You're only going to use $1,400 of buying power. It's really not a lot for a $100 stock. I mean, so it's basically like synthetically buying almost. For buying power, it's almost like buying shorting the stock outright. Which you could do. It's 46 deltas, so basically, you're short 50 shares of stock, not 100 at 46 delta. So, but you could do that. As well. The other trade you could do as well is a ratio, which is probably not a bad. Where is the ratio? Yeah, you could do the ratio. What the heck is that? I never saw that before. That's new. The ratio, and then I would still use the 100 strike. And sell 2 of the 105s. And you're going to use, but the problem with this trade and why I didn't even do a ratio in the first place was you're still using, the buying power is still too high to do that. So to do 3 options, you're just better off just selling the 100. Just sell the 100 outright. Well, I'm in February. Just sell the 100 outright. What is going on? Why is everything different here? This is saying $2,000 of buying power. I don't know what's going on. Oh, okay. Now I see what it is. I have both options on. I'll be all right. Yeah. So there you go. Just sell the 100 outright, and at that point, and then I just didn't have the buying power in my account to do it at the time. So that's why I decided to just do the call spread. And you can even get a little aggressive if you want and maybe do a 10 wide. That's actually a really nice trade too. The 110, 100. Use about $700. Bring in about 3. You could probably do this for 310 if you kind of let it sit and you work with it. So just a couple of options, to get short UAL outside of just shorting the stock. You really can't buy puts. Don't expect to buy puts here because, again, if you buy puts, you're buying into this high volatility. And when volatility crushes in here, it's going to crush the premiums in your puts just as much as it would crush them in the calls. So it really won't pay to buy calls. And so that's kind of another trade. And I think they have earnings, too, coming out. It's actually a while, January. So there you have it. Just kind of breaking in here, getting this stream all fixed. It was broke. I don't know what was going on, but it seems to be working now. And we'll see. We'll see if I can come back and start doing this on a regular basis. I'll start posting trades and whatnot, and we'll see how it goes.